So, hello again. My name is Dana Ficuzvicaș. I'm from Romania, from a very small country, from a very small observatory in Romania. I work as an astronomer at the Observatory of Cluj-Napoca, and I started doing outreach and astronomy education because the situation in Romania is quite difficult in the sense that there are no way of specializing astronomers in Romania at the moment. I specialized abroad, and I came back to help out, but the process is very slow. And without astronomy in the national curricula, although there's high interest for this science, there is no more astronomers coming after us, and no one to help the public understand things like climate change and the importance of Earth and the importance of us protecting the Earth. I recently worked on a project that was transmitting the Astronomers for Earth message, there is no planet B, to the Romanian public through an exhibition in the botanical garden. So as the people were walking in the botanical garden, there was these posters that related the nature in that particular place with the message of, look, life is unique. Look, Earth, there are many stars and many planetary systems, but there are no planets like Earth yet found, and so on and so on. So there were 5 big astrobiology themes that were embedded in these posters to help people understand how it is important to how there is no planet B and there is nothing like Earth. And I thought, let's take this. I realized that people were very interested, and the people were okay with this approach where they could walk by and just discover new things in a familiar place. I thought, let's do this further. Let's take people out of the cities and into nature and help them rediscover their own connection to nature, help them remember why they love nature and how, and that will make them more inclined to protect it. So from this idea, I want to begin a new project in an international collaboration with you, if you would like to do so, on making this AstroEarth Trails, designing them make them interact with each other from all over the Earth through exhibitions meant to take people out of the cities into nature and into these. So what this workshop is about is to actually work together on the idea and to make it feasible and make it possible, if you like, and to also sort of find the right network for us to work together. So I'm going to start with something that I thought it would be useful as an inspiration. So just 5 minutes to remind us how amazing Earth is.
Phones off the hook. No one knows where we are. It's a long time since I drank champagne. The ocean's blue, up and you're over and you're far away. Always for you and forever yours. It felt just like the old days. We fell asleep on Beulah's porch. I'm gonna take it with me when I go. All broken down by the side of the road. I was never more alive or alone. I've worn the faces off all the cards. I'm gonna take it with me when I go. Children are playing the end of the day. Strangers are singing on all along. There's got to be more than flesh and bone. All that you love is all you own. In a land there's a town, and in that town there's a house, and in that house there's a woman. And in that woman there's a heart that I love. I'm gonna take it with me when I go. I'm gonna take it with me when I go.
And now, so what I'm going to do, and now, so you've seen all these places, some around the world, some very famous, some not so famous. I stopped myself at the idea of how even the ordinary on Earth can be extraordinary, like in the garden of the observatory or in the garden of in the park, you can see snapshots of nature that are just inspiring in all ways, in many different ways, but also it's like nature makes itself present everywhere, but is also, how to say, having most of the time the most interesting show of all the things that happen around us. Nature always is surprising and amazing. And I think this emotion of wow it is also the emotion that attracts people towards the night sky, but it's something that can resonate with people and can help them understand how their actions can be used for good. So hence awareness can come from giving people a good time and helping them realize how they can do better. So that was my idea. I am thinking it would be nice to sort of concentrate the AstroEarth Trails on these ordinary being extraordinary places, so people can realize that nature is important in all of it, not only the national parks, the Grand Canyon, the Niagara Falls or the Victoria Falls or other these iconic places all over the world, which are already part of a protection kind of mechanisms through the in the national parks, but actually work on these other places, these places where they are beautiful, but people think they are just ordinary. They are not part of anything, you know. But so I think in this way, people would even they themselves, they would discover, well, I can be special. Ordinary can be special too. So on the psychological level, they can feel good about themselves, but also nature can be promoted in this wonderful way by helping them easing the relation and the connection between the human being and the natural place. So as far as I thought of this idea is that these AstroEarth Trails I'm proposing us to design and make have multiple components. So first, we choose a place that is the center of our trail. And this place, I was thinking it should be, how to say, we could have installed a camera that could show in real time what things are happening in that particular place. And we could share this image with other sites and sort of encourage people to visit different of the AstroEarth trails. So around this centered piece, we could have, it would be nice to have a design trail. Now, if this place is in the garden of the observatory, maybe there's not enough walking about that could be, but we could still make a design trail that would include, I don't know, like from a starting point of in the city to get all the way to the observatory, or make a few intermediary steps till the final final point. And the idea is that then we could sort of engage people into like a sort of interactive way of finding these places. So for example, we can for promoting these trails, we could create a kind of treasure hunting game where people could look for either the places themselves or either points along the trail that are so designed so people can they are in the treasure hunting game. And that sort of brings us to the next component, the human interaction. So the idea is to bring in the youth through this technology and this adventure spirit, but also bring in all people through giving the trail also a cultural and artistic component that helps people interact and facilitates also the facilitates people regarding this as a touristic destination that they would enjoy participating in. And then the next component is not offering them an astro-ecotourism experience, so sort of tying in astronomy to the whole trail, and giving them the opportunity to do an action for Earth. So sort of to design different activities that they can do on different sites where they can actually have that experience of I'm doing something for Earth, and through in this way increase awareness about what Earth needs from us, or how we can contribute positively to helping to preserving life on Earth as it is at the moment. So these are the components of the AstroEarth Trails. What I'm happy to add more or to take out some. So feel free to interact and tell me your opinion. And then I thought these, I'm sorry for the typo there. So it would be nice to be able to design these trails in different places on Earth and have these places communicate with each other through that camera, like I said, that could show instances of other trails out there. And then use the technology even further and sort of draw people out of their out of the city, into nature, into interacting and doing these AstroEarth Trails experiences by promoting them in exhibitions. I was taught to dream big, and even if I live in a country where things don't, it's very difficult to even talk about big dreams. Still, I think I imagine this exhibitions as you walk in a museum room, if you want, and you have these big screens on the walls, and each screen can show a different AstroEarth Trail. So it's like a parade of nature inside, indoors. And if technology would allow it, it would be nice to have, instead of screens, portals, and you could just step into the natural place you're looking at. But it's not, we are not there yet. So we could just help the person feel the place and experience the place by watching the screen, and in such a manner that would, I guess, in the most successful, ideal situation, they would be inclined to just walk out of the museum and actually go and visit the nearest AstroEarth Trail that they could find. Of course, technology will allow us to also have different exhibitions. Although we're having the same screens, we can have exhibitions centered on dark sky at these AstroEarth Trails. We could have exhibition on wildlife, on we could have one certain Astro Trail promoted at one time and then succeed. So it would be an ever-changing exhibition with the same elements, like in terms of screens and maybe other aspects of, but it will be I think an interesting way of bringing nature back into the city, apart from the parks that already exist, but also how to say, helping people travel without actually making a big carbon footprint. Like you choose the place without trying many different places. You already see, well, I want to go to, let's say, Scotland, or to Romania, or to, I don't know, you have like a preview of what you could find. So that being said, I invite you to interact with me and tell me if you can think of such a place that you would like to promote through through such an AstroEarth Trail. Anybody?
Maybe I can start. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I really like how you presented your idea, and how much love you're also conveying with your idea for the earth, and for the beauty of it, and for the little ordinary things that we don't really think about when we think of stars, but to combine it all together and to have this message along with it is, I think, really beautiful. And as for the trails, I think this could be really good in the sense that the problem I see is there are not many places, if we talk about Europe, to actually go and experience a dark sky. For example, I'm in Germany, and here, luckily nearby, for me nearby, I'm in Cologne, so there's this dark sky sanctuary where people can go and actually enjoy the darkest spot in Germany. But generally, it's very hard to find a place where you have no lights on the ground that get reflected onto the sky, and that reduces the intensity of the starlight, and therefore you cannot see that many stars, and it's not a very spectacular effect. What I think it could we can start with is identifying places, for example, in Europe, and trying to string them together into a trail. For example, if there's a nice dark spot in northern Germany and one in southern Germany, so that could be like a trail from the north to the south, walking trail. There are already nature trails that people regularly take. So this could become something like that, yes. If we identify the spots and string them together string together dots. Just to start, yeah.
Thank you so much for your contribution and for your idea. I guess that would mean traveling from north to south. That would be a longer trail, which can be really nice. I think there shouldn't be any. I think we should rejoice in the differences between different trails. For example, we could make a short one in the garden of an observatory, or but we could also make a longer one from the south to the north of Germany, from one dark sky sanctuary to another. So I definitely think it's a good idea. And I don't know, depending on, it would be nice to tie things between the astronomy and the natural world, to sort of have a camera, either at night camera to be redirected towards the sky, or and use one camera, but or have two cameras, one that shows the one pointed at the sky and one pointed at the nature around. So and then even if, you know, as you said, you know, it's difficult in Europe to find these dark sky places, I think it will be a good way of showing people what lights are doing by showing comparisons, because maybe some another AstroEarth Trail in, I don't know, in Africa or in somewhere, it might be able to show us a more darkest place. So then we could show the difference and the effects of light pollution, and we could help the greater public understand how what a treasure we are losing through the lights. Please, Annalie, please tell us.
Yeah, I only want to express the idea that it doesn't necessarily have to be a dark place or a dark sky place. If you want to try to represent this, the ordinary being extraordinary, maybe you can start local, because, for example, go to a local park and try to connect with the people that manage the lighting in the park, so they can maybe lower the light in that night. And maybe, yes, for example, local park, you have this contact with nature. There are trees, there are birds, there are flowers, etc. And if there is lighting in the night, you can also try to convince them that for this particular activity, they can turn the light off, or maybe try to also try to explain this idea, because maybe raise awareness about the light pollution too. So I think that for this idea of finding the ordinary or the extraordinary in the ordinary, this local connection will be good too. And maybe this will make this inception in the people to, okay, I start here, and maybe if they are interested, they can go travel or going into an excursion later on, so they can really appreciate, as you were saying, this difference or this contrast between living in the city with a lot of light pollution and going in other places that maybe there is also light pollution, because cities are growing faster and light also, but a little less light pollution, for example. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think unfortunately most of the people are in cities, and then they although they tend to get out, at least what I see around me, they tend to get out of the city at the weekends. During the week, they I guess the best way to relate to them would be through the local park. And I think what this network of Astro Trails could help us with is making these comparisons. For example, if you have for an education action of climate change awareness or something, or astronomy outreach education, or the two of them to be intertwined together. If you you cannot talk to children about the night sky without showing them the night sky. But in a network like this, through these cameras, we could show them the night sky somewhere else. And also helping, educationally speaking, this interaction of sites would be nice, because they can learn about the many differences on Earth by seeing, by experiencing, rather than by reading in a book, or hearing about it in class. Maybe this is not the way education is done in your countries. I guess in Romania, I think traditional education is still most predominant. So it would be like a teacher explaining to the students, and they doing things together, but not so much as going out and experiencing things, which I think is a very good way to learn. And I think that's, why travel is so amazing. We want to, I'm for reducing the carbon footprint, but I think it would be a terrible loss if we wouldn't travel at all. And I think we should have like a reserve of resources to still travel, or for the future generation to be able to still travel without affecting the sanity of our planet, or the health of our planet. Yes, please.
I was going to say on the travel issue that, yeah, I somewhat agree. I mean, people have been saying that young people should be able to travel some. I traveled a whole lot in my youth, and senior people should slow it down, where often they're the ones who have the larger budgets, and we need to reverse that process. But yeah, overall, and yeah, as I said in my chat there, I sort of missed the main idea here. But if you're looking for really dark sky places, of course, there's really beautiful ones in the Western U.S. And I just wondered if you have a website yet that you've talked about this idea anywhere.
I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Just and I can send you an email with more details. Please contact me if you are thinking of you can think of a place and you would like to join this project. But to help out first, sorry, I'm going to make a small preview of so Mandeep, the idea of the AstroEarth Trails was to create this trails in different sites, places in the earth, and this place to have like a natural site at the center of the place, but not necessarily this national park site. It can be if there's a partnership between you and national park, that can be done as well. But we are trying to show the extraordinary in the ordinary, and sort of encourage people to go back to nature and protect it by loving it, and love it by not harming it. So the idea is these trails have multiple components. First, we designed the trail around this natural place, which place can be a dark sky place, but it's not necessarily so. And this place has a camera that would enable different AstroEarth Trail sites to communicate with each other and be exhibited in as an invitation for people to go and actually see the real thing. And then there's the human interaction component, where we could attract the youth through a treasure hunting game, or through, for example, collecting stamps from the these different AstroEarth trails. Stamps as in, I'm sorry if my English is not very good. For example, they can have a special book where they can stamp it with the stamp of specially designed for a certain for each particular AstroEarth trail. They can be this human interaction through culture, through maybe there's a story related to that place. Maybe there's a, I don't know, a song. That maybe, you know, there's something tied to the history, or tied to the culture, or tied to the technology for what we want to do next. But sort of bring in all the dimensions of humanity into this trail. So then my idea is for them to feel nature and the universe with all their senses, through their emotions, through their tactile, by being able to touch a tree or a plant or whatnot. And then so another component would be the astro-ecotourism experience, and then an action for Earth experience. And that I'm actually glad that I'm doing this a small summary of what the trails, I thought the trails should be about, because that sort of brings me to the next thing I thought we could talk about, is what kind of experiences we could offer them. I thought because we are showing these trails, we promote them as exhibitions, and we show them in parallel to each other. I thought, you know, actions should be unique for each trail. So then people would be encouraged to try different things. So, so what action for Earth, for example, what can in Romania, people are used to, you know, when they are thinking of action for Earth, it means, you know, cleaning the forest from litter and so on. But I think I would like to go to something deeper, and to find, I don't know, a way of maybe, I don't know, a way of giving people a chance to do something, like, I don't know, melt glass into something new, or to use threads, for example, from old clothes, use the threads to make new things, or so things like that, or make, or for example, I was thinking about another possible action for Earth experiences, like if we could technically create the system through which you bike, and you create wind for a turbine, and actually produce electricity to enable an action in that natural place. So like through this action, people learn how things are done ecologically, but they also have the satisfaction that I've done it. You know, I lit up a bulb, or I did, you know, something. And I think these are a few examples that I could think of, but I welcome you to think of more, and I'm sure you can. So yes.
I was gonna say, and sorry, I don't have my camera on. I haven't turned the lights on here. It's still completely dark. There's a really nice system of parks all throughout Minneapolis. You know, there's the Mississippi River goes through here. It's a So it's very well kept, and they do have, you know, some astronomy events here and there. And so I'm sure they would be quite open to, you know, so that's the first thought that occurs to me, is that this could be one of the sites. And so then again, my follow-up question, if you don't have a website, have you written this up as a document to, you know, in some way, just to, you know, if I wanted to say, take it to the park system and say, oh, you know, these trails are being created in Europe and other places, and we could link to them. Is there some write-up quite yet of it?
Quite yet, no, because I didn't know if the idea would catch on, and I thought, and I didn't, how to say, I didn't know who to start the collaboration with, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to meet people from different sides of the world and sort of create a network together. And also, as you can see, the idea is not, how to say, oh, I want it this way. It's actually, I would like it to be like a joint effort into making it our own, like so I'm actually the idea with this workshop is to build up a team of interested people, and together we can create this documentation, and I can take, you know, this step and draft something, and we could consult with different sites. I agree. It would be nice to be. It would be also okay to be in sites that are owned, or they are, or through partnerships with parks, because for any to be able to, you know, for the feasibility of it, to be able to organize activities, and for people to actually be able to take the trail by themselves without hindering or trespassing or getting into trouble. So I think it's a good idea to talk to this observatory you mentioned.
Okay, cool. Well, William, I'm happy to be part of the team.
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you all. For which, we can continue talking about. So I guess these AstroEarth Trails are very related to the place where they are going to happen. So then we could sort of think of action for Earth experiences and give examples, but in the end we might have to tailor them for that particular place and for the needs of that particular place. So if you can think of actions you think would be interesting to have on our list, that's fine. But if you think we should think of places first and establish the sites first, and then think of how to tie them to and to what, that's okay too. Regarding this component of astro ecotourism experience, this once you say ecotourism, it also can imply, if we want to do so, sort of an income that would help sustain the project for the long run. In the sense that, I don't know, there can be funds gathering for different things. There can be activities that are available, and people are hired to deliver those activities. So then they have to, we have to sustain those people in being able to deliver the activities. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think it could be also like a project that it started within A4E, so Astronomers for Planet Earth. Maybe if you start a new channel or announce a new project, people can always go to the Slack group for this project and report what ideas they have about their specific locations. For example, again, example from Germany is that certain observatories, for example, like a radio observatory south of Cologne and other places where astronomy is happening, telescopes, planetariums, they sometimes have these kind of trails around them, which is not which are not like really long, but they arrange those trails according to the distances of the solar system planets, for example. They
Yeah, I
scale it
heard.
up in the sense that you start from the observatory, you move a certain distance, you reach Mercury, and then you move a certain distance, you reach. It's scaled according to the solar system distances or the Milky Way or galaxies, etc. And I think these places are already ready to go. They just exist as trails that are branded by that specific observatory. So what could happen is that within the Slack group, we could discuss whether this observatory wants to join our project, join this project, and we brand that trail under one banner called Astro Trails or AstroEarth Trails, and sort of identify these locations where these trails exist, brand them first, and then sort of think of new ideas along, while going with it.
I think it would be a wonderful idea to be adopted by Astro for Earth, because it would be more representative and we would have the experience of so many more members that are on literally on all corners of the earth. So thank you for, I didn't know exactly how you proceed about proposing a project within the A4E, but I think it's a very good idea, and thank you for it would be very nice to take this on this, and like you said, in this observatory design trails, you already have the Astro experience designed, and you could if you wanted to create more, but you would have something already created that would be, like you said, ready to go. So yeah.
I think the way to bring it as an A4E project would be, well, anybody can create the Slack channel right away. And then after that, you would want to bring it to the working group meetings, which happen, or the steering group, I guess they're called, about once a month. But I think if we were going to do that, we would want it to be a little bit more defined, like this is going to be happening and this is how you can participate, and something like that, But I'm sure it would be adopted and people would be like, oh yeah, A4E wants to give full backing to this, So yeah, I think for that we'd need some kind of written document. But sure, I think in the near future it could even happen,
Thank you. I guess what I will start drafting something is more coherent and more like how to say, more hands-on, so to speak. And if I would very much love to hear what you think about it. So if you are adopting me as a team member, I would be very glad to actually send it to all of you and to shape it up and then put it in propose it as an A4E project.
Right. Yeah.
So what I can do, I could try and use through your names. I'll be at the end of the day send you an email, and we could work on that. So
right. Yeah. Yeah, the easiest, I don't know how you normally write documents. The easiest would be a Google Doc, but if we were going to make it a little more official, it would be an overleaf. So it's already started in LaTeX and looks, and both of those all the participants can contribute and give feedback right away, comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever would work best for you. Yeah. And it wouldn't have to start as a very long document. It can just be, a couple pages of your kind of idea, and then it can be expanded from there. This talk already is I've only seen a few of the slides, but would be the start of the idea. Yeah.
Thank you. So, what do you think? Should we restrict these trails to? Actually, I think it would be best to leave it open, and people sort of can propose trails wherever they think, whatever places they think they are interesting. With the mention, we have to think about the feasibility of people having access to them, and sites being possible to be maintained. So certainly observatory trails are very attractive, but I think for Romania, I was thinking of there is no such thing as an observatory trail, but there definitely are. I was thinking of places in the rural areas of Romania, but close enough to the cities so people can easily access these places, where in the rural areas you have the benefit of darker skies and good quality skies at night, but also the nature is more impressive in the sense of forests or hills, or it's more than you could find in the city.
Yep.
But so and also I think once we start it, we can, make it as large as we want. But the information, for example, that the cameras can collect on that particular one camera in one natural place, that data can be used by other disciplines, such as ornithologists, if it's an area where birds are coming, and it actually can be an action for Earth experience to construct bird feeders for winter. For example, in Romania, it's a problem in the winter that birds do not find food. So ornithologists have these actions where they build the feeders, and they visit the places and maintain the feeders full, so the people, so the birds can make it through the winter. So that's another, but if we have the feeders installed in the camera reach, then we will have birds coming, and there'll be something interesting that the camera will catch, and that can be actually interesting for, like I said, other disciplines, but it can be true for other things, for the animals, for the plants that are in the area. So I think we could we have the potential to make it big, although like my biggest aim is to get people connecting with nature and embracing it as something, you know, of their own. And once they do that, there will be, you know, there are no parents who are not protecting their children. So if people think of nature, or even if it's one place, they adopt and say, oh, I'm going to protect this, and or I'm going to, but then, you know, there's, Earth is doing a little bit better. So hopefully with enough people acting for Earth, then things are changing and we can reverse the damage of our actions, and we can, you know, become the good guys. Although, yeah, we are not intentionally bad guys. So
no. So one thought that occurs to me is that to connect it a little bit with astronomy is the idea of archaeoastronomy. So every excuse me, every place on the earth has you know, has cultures that go back, you know, thousands and tens and thousands of years that saw the sky, because astronomy is the original science. So for here in Minnesota, we have the Dakota and Lakota Indians, Native Americans, who used to, you know, they had their own pictures of the sky and their own, you know, stories and all that. And so the idea could be to bring some of that to the trail. You know, in Europe, I guess you'd have to go back to, I don't know how far he'd go, but people definitely study this now. So, and there's stars visible, some amount of stars visible from, you know, even the most light polluted areas, but somehow that could be connected, sort of the ancient views of, you know, what the original people who lived on the land thought of, just to bring in some kind of astronomy, you know.
yes, it's a very nice idea. For example, in Romania, the astroarchaeology place have more than 2,000 years. So the ancient culture that of Romania, we were even called a different name as a country back then. Astronomy was something very important that like the high society of that time would learn in initiative, in courses of initiation, and also taught by the priests who were the elders of knowledge. So coming from that time, we have this Romanian constellations, like associations of stars with stories behind them as they were seen by the ancient people in Romania. And it's so very interesting because these sort of associations, how to say, ancient constellations, they are everywhere. They are in Africa, they are in Asia, they are in America, and they are even situations where they are looking at the same constellation and the same stars, but they see different things. And I think that's a very nice way of promoting diversity and of promoting creativity of not only of, you know, the past, but also for the future, as in there's no limit to there's no conflict on whatever constellation we are looking at. It's okay, or whatever we name it, but it's actually interesting to see how people saw it back then and how they imagined it. So I think, so yeah, I think tying it to archaeoastronomy is a very good idea. And so and I think it's then it can be also through archaeoastronomy, but you can also relate it to ethnoastronomy, if you want. For example, there was a discovery by the historians in Romania that the design of the on the traditional Romanian costumes, which is known abroad as the Romanian blouse. It has special motifs, and the design of those motifs, some of them are inspired by constellations and by stars and by seen with the things that were seen in the sky. So that's another avenue we can go on and sort of see how stars are seen on Earth, and how they were depicted on I don't know, drawings or songs or dance or so on. I heard somewhere in Africa there are dances that involve this the night sky represented in a dance or something like that. So it would be so nice to be able to bring those in, and also to make it so accessible.
That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't know that about the clothes, and I could see the dances, but yeah, that's a really neat idea. Yeah, there's a lot that could be done for sure. And we're not, we have a lot of resources. Like somebody pointed out, the International Dark Sky Society, IDSA, and there's also, already programs at some of these parks that are watching the stars and paying attention. So I think with a little bit of effort, we could integrate with that, and it would be neat for them to see, to become part of an international sort of effort towards this. And I do like the, Action for Earth. There's many different ideas. I liked your idea of making energy with bikes, or because, of course, we're doing this under A4E, which means, as much as it's good to, we have to. Go ahead.
So if one of the sites is with water of some sort, we can make it with water too. So and then sort of show the people the power of making energy and having green energy.
And we'd want to try to integrate climate change in some way. Like, look, we have to care about this, and here's some of the actions we can do. But I actually teach some in the schools, and so they are even the younger schools here. And just the other day, like this teacher in 6th grade, so it's 11-year-olds, she was teaching about climate change, like how it's affecting the earth, and that it's something that affects all of us. So we have to make them aware of the sky, and then whatever is appropriate for their grade level, right, their age level. And here's some of the things that you can do. So there's a lot. It's a very diverse sort of idea. It's cool.
And I think through a trail, you sort of can address all different ages and all different backgrounds, and they might not be all interested in the same things. That's you don't know what public you're going to get. So then it's nice to be able to if you have such a different so many different things connected to this trail, then you may be successful to at least one to get your message across, and to sort of increase the awareness and sort of convince the person that, oh yeah, it's worth me investing in my future. Actually, I saw your talk, and I was thinking, it's how important it is to be able to save the earth for the future generations, and to, be accountable for what we did, what we do, but also, how to say, to take a positive approach. Okay, well,
Yeah.
this is done, but we are going to change it for the better.
Right.
So
Yep. Yeah, thanks for watching it. I didn't really plan that last editorial. It just sort of came out. I mean, that's often how I say things. But yeah, that's how I see it. We can't change the past, but here we are. So let's go forward. So
I think, although it's not easy, being positive is very important, because the negativity can sort of, how to say, make you freeze and sort of,
yeah,
oh, there's nothing to do and it's all
exactly.
gone. It's all, and I think, and it's not always easy to be positive, but still, I think it's important to do so, and that's why I always try to sort of help people see the good things and help people enjoy and sort of receive the message in a way that so they are prepared to positively contribute rather than be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I think it's life in the 21st century is quite overwhelming. There are so many things to think about and so many. So
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and also I think what is important, like, is this connection between the human being and the nature. We are part of nature. We are not, these robots that were coming out of a factory. We came out of nature. We are a result of it, if you want, and we are part of it. And and sometimes the cities make us forget this connection, and some children, they grow without knowing that there's a connection, as in knowing at the subconscious level that it exists. At some point in Romania a few years ago, there were children who have never seen a cow or have never seen something alive outside the city, and that people realize, well, that's not okay.
Right.
And also all the studies show there's this very interesting study done by the Mental Health Foundation in UK, who are explaining with facts that the connection between nature and the human being, it helps at the psychological level and it helps ease stress. It helps people with anxieties. It helps in very many different situations, not necessarily the very ill people or people with more critical psychological affections, but also the everyday person. We all have times when we are depressed or upset, and nature helps, and it's I think we are I guess our main interest in astronomy for Earth, I guess, it is also helping mankind to survive, because we know the planet will survive in a way or another. Life will transform or not, but it would be a pity for the mankind to disappear and of our own hand. What I thought it was interesting in one of the presentations at this conference, it was that the carbon footprint of natural elements alone is quite constant, and the rate or the rise is caused by human action. So
Mhm.
the fact that they were able to distinguish between the two components is that it sort of sounds like, well, nature wants to continue in this way. You know, it's at the constant level, but humans are acting against their own interest.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, those are
Yeah.
all good points.
I think I would have to leave, but just before that, I would also like to say, Donna, that that was a nice presentation, and thank you for ideas. I think if you write to the symposium email address and like generally to some email address for A4E or even to one of us in the Slack, we would be able to help you with maybe establishing a new group inside the A4E Slack channel, and so we can have a place to discuss ideas. Also, for example, Annalie here suggested that we could connect with the International Dark Sky Association, etc. So there are also other comments in the chat. Yeah, so I think it would be a good place to discuss these ideas and see what the community thinks, and get started. So I would be looking forward to it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely take it on from here. And I thank you all for participating to this workshop and for helping me make it into a real thing. From an idea to a plan, from a plan to further to reality. Yeah. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, it looks like some I don't know who posted this, but the official way to start a project. So I'm sure we can get this to happen. So yeah, we'll connect through email and continue that way. That sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. I'll come on video for a second so you can see my dark area here.
Hi.
All right, bye-bye.
It was nice meeting you all. It was, yeah, I studied abroad for a long time, because in Romania you can no longer study astronomy. And I returned hoping to help others to learn, but I can only do so through outreach, because astronomy is not part of the national curricula, and there are all these complicated legal situations in Romania that or legal requirements that the Ministry of Education has. But anyhow, I felt quite isolated here in Romania. That's why I didn't even know how to take this project further. So this workshop has actually helped, and I'm very happy, and I thank you all. I can see there are two new people who just came in. Would you like me to give you a small summary of what we've been talking about? I think this is Gurav and Josefina.
No, Dana, I was here for quite a while. I did
Oh,
listen
I'm
to.
sorry. If
No
there's
worries.
something that you...
I did go listen to most of your talk. So, and yeah, it's a wonderful initiative. Hoping to see many people sign up for and like contribute to it soon. I'm sure A4E will be able to do something about it for sure. But yeah, what Mandeep said and what Lola has posted, there's an actual process that Leo had recently posted in one of our working channels, where how exactly do we kickstart a new working group or a channel on Slack. And but yeah, those details can be discussed later as well. Yeah.
I was
Thank
curious
you.
why Romania stopped supporting astronomy, even in Bucharest. Like, there's no astronomy programs, the whole country now.
Well, there is no astronomy. So astronomy is not part of the national curriculum, so nobody can actually study astronomy in school or at university. So you cannot get specialized to become an astronomer. So, but there are a lot of students and a lot of, and those students, like for example, high school students who participate in international competitions of astronomy, and they get very good results. And when they want to continue, become specialists, they are forced to go abroad or to study. And then, so there are a few observatories in Romania where with hired astronomers. So that's pretty ironic. We are not making new astronomers, but we are hiring astronomers. There is not much astronomy infrastructure. Because we are not preparing astronomers, there are people from physics getting hired in astronomy, and they are not like in some places in the world, astronomy is studied at in the physics department,
right?
But people specialize in astronomy to actually become researchers. Where here, because of lack of prepared human resource, sometimes that avenue skipped. So then the international standards are not coming across as they should. So what's a pity, we were talking earlier, you know, astronomy was part of the curriculum in the first university in Romania in the 1800s. It was part of the curriculum of the ancient people in thousands of years ago. And it was, and the first PhD degree in Romania, it was in astronomy, in celestial mechanics. But over the last 20, 30 years, we lost that, how to say, a connection to astronomy, and efforts are being made, but as the time passes, it becomes very difficult, because even if the ministry would reintroduce astronomy in education, now we don't have educators that are able to teach astronomy. So things are interesting, but we are I'm not giving up the fight. So hopefully there will be we will be able to. And as for the public is very interested in astronomy, and the children are, and the great public are, and the amateur astronomy is very developed, because there's the only area where they can get some of their needs answered. But then with, I think the astronomers community already is very small, around 50 people at most.
Wow.
So it would be difficult to cater for the whole country if it would so need be. So yeah, but we'll see what happens next. But hopefully, this sort of activity, like this AstroEarth Trail, would be another opportunity for them to get in contact with astronomy and natural sciences and nature, and do things like that, and sort of explore astronomy, maybe interdisciplinary from with entrances from other disciplines, like So
Yeah.
there are a few astronomy themes in the curriculum in the geography class or mathematics or physics, but no actual discipline of astronomy.
Is this was it mostly financial? I'm curious because I can't imagine too many other countries, even Eastern European countries, that have just so eliminated astronomy from the curriculum. Like, I know Ukraine has a major program, and I don't know, Bulgaria or other countries like that. Romania is unique in eliminating it to this level.
Well, it began with the need to, so the education in Romania, it was a more traditional style, and students and parents and people thought it was overcrowded with notions and content, and they said, well, we should give up on certain things, and this is the thing that they gave up on. So, and in the other disciplines and subjects, they how to say, they just rearranged things, but the content sort of stayed. so yeah, it was so I don't think it's necessarily financial, but maybe with regard to astronomy infrastructure, definitely the budget is not there for that. But for education, it was the thing that they thought they could take out in order to release the pressure on the curriculum. But students are now saying, I've seen, we've done recent surveys, and students are saying that, that the overcrowding of the curriculum is not, they don't see it that way. It's not a problem, and it's not, and also that taking out elements from the curriculum is not helping, because then other elements who were funded on those basics, they cannot be properly taught. So there's this revolution in the curriculum. And while this revolution takes forever, astronomy is degrading, I guess, in a way, because of lack of people who can come into astronomy, but also people who can are exposed to astronomy. And we cannot ask teachers, please talk about astronomy, because they're afraid, of course, since they've never studied it, even I thank you everybody for this workshop, and I think we'll take it from here, and I'm very happy to have held this talk, and this to have shared this idea of mine, and I can only hope we can make it bigger together. So thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Tana.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
If anyone wants to ask anything or would like to talk about, mention anything, just let me know. We are having a few more minutes, but in any way we will interact further, and hopefully we'll soon make it an AstroEarth project.
Cool. Okay, I'm logging off. See you on email. Thanks.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I will be waiting for more news about this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dana.